What if you could get some Scene or Air Miles loyalty points for every hour that we spend waiting in Nova Scotia emergency rooms for help? Would that make sense? No, it wouldn't. But I want to give you a little perspective, and I think that Scene or Air Miles points might actually help. Now, I'll try to go through this quickly. Tim Houston originally campaigned to become premier on some big Nova Scotia loyal plan, and it was supposed to be an elaborate way to get us to buy more local products. And the premise of that is good. Now, that sounds like a solution that should have some promise and maybe even set a precedent. But now fast forward to the actual rollout of Nova Scotia loyalty, and it ends up primarily being Houston handing almost $1 million over to Sobeys exclusively to promote some local products, and then to set aside some more money, millions of it in fact, to give Scene or Air Miles points out to shoppers. So I get it. If you collect Scene points, it doesn't hurt to scan the card at the checkout and work yourself towards a movie pass or two. But the actual solution is far less impressive than Houston made it sound. And that's the precedent. Now we have to make sure there are actual good solutions happening, not just impressive sounding ideas at first. Now Tim Houston promotes a lot of solutions for healthcare, something obviously essential to our health and well-being, or whether or not we actually get medical care at all before our life ends. Now, when Houston promotes his solutions in healthcare, is there any chance that some of them just sound good, but end up getting executed about as well as Nova Scotia Loyal? I had a family member who just had a major surgery at the Cape Breton Regional Hospital, and they were told that someone needed their recovery room. And an administrator took it upon themselves to randomly draw who would have to leave and go into the overflow and suffer with everyone else having no room and no privacy. So that's a random draw, as if it was a fundraiser. They were about to win a fruit basket or something. But instead, they're getting kicked out of a post-surgical recovery room. Let's keep this in perspective. Now, Zach Churchill took the heat as health minister when he had 65,000 names on a list waiting for a doctor in Nova Scotia. And now, under Tim Houston, the list has grown to 145,000 names. So I have to ask you, are the solutions working? Or are they just supposed to sound impressive and nothing more? You see, we still hear about ERs closing, or enormous wait times when they're open, or ambulances that don't show up for us, or they show up hours later. And my personal story isn't just a one-off. We hear about these kinds of scenarios, nightmare scenarios, for families all the time. And chances are you're thinking of one that you experienced yourself, or one of your family members, or a friend experienced. It's not uncommon whatsoever. So let's not be fooled into thinking that things are better than they are by a premier and his team that thinks all they have to say is more doctors quicker. And we'll all instantly believe that they must be doing an amazing job, right? Because he says so.